So with the Tekrans, about once every month we like to do an external calibration, which essentially just means we use the external source. We pull out 10 microliters using that glass syringe in there, and we'll inject it into this here. So to start that, you always want to press escape a couple times to make sure you're on the main menu. If you can't escape anymore, you're on the main menu. You want to actually go into calibrate, which is the first option under the main menu. Once you're in the calibrate menu, you want to navigate to type. The default is always source. That just means it takes it from the perm source. So our daily calibrations, this calibrates automatically daily. So it'll actually calibrate using its own internal source, which functions much like that one. But we're going to do an injection calibration right now. So we're going to switch it to inject.
So one quick question.
Sure.
You say it calibrates every day. That's only when it's in the on position.
Right. Yeah. If it's idling, it doesn't calibrate.
Okay.
If it's running, it'll calibrate. So it'll be on, but it'll be idle. It won't calibrate.
Okay.
If you're running like that one, then it'll automatically calibrate. Okay. So we're gonna switch the calibration type to inject, and then we're gonna press enter. We're gonna go back to calib. We're gonna hit enter here. And we're going to do a full calibration, always, and we're going to do both traps as well. It's going to ask you to enter the amount to inject in nanograms. So if you follow me, I'll show you where you get that number. Okay, so this is our external calibration source, the 2505. It has an internal mercury bead. Generally, just kind of as a superstition, before we start, we like to give it an all-around shake. What this does is actually, if it at all formed a little bit of an oxidized mercury shell, it'll break it up.
Okay.
So we like to give it a little shake, give it a few minutes to settle. So this is the 2505 after we've shaken it. If you want to actually bring it up a little bit, you can just look at that screen if you can see it. So here we have a screen that says HG amount. This is where we set the actual injection volume. This is the temperature that we've set for this unit to actually hold that mercury bead at. And this is the amount that we're going to get. So it's 176.290 picograms. That is the number we need to input into the Tekran.
So would that number always be the same for a 10?
It should, yes.
Okay. Because it's taking into account the temperature.
Right. It holds that bead of mercury.
Okay.
So this is 176.290 in picograms. We're going to turn it into nanograms, so obviously it's going to be 0.176290. So let's go back to the Tekran. 176.290. This is asking us for an amount to enter in nanograms. We're going to put it 0.17. Now you're 629. And we can put the 0 for good measure. You press enter, and it'll start to calibrate. I turned the zero error on because we've been having issues with our cables. There is an actual communication cable between the Tekran, the port sampler, as well as the zero air. However, I just don't want to run the risk right now because I ordered a couple new cables for this. They're ribbon cables. They're this thing, if you see. This cable here connects actually to the Tekran and the port sampler. That's how the Tekran tells each unit to feed it whatever air. Does that make sense?
And so, if you have that ribbon connection, you don't need the zero air.
You do need the zero air, but you don't need to turn it on.
Okay. Okay.
It'll go auto. So if you look at the, I can shift this around to show you. So if you look at the panel of the zero air, it's got the information input port, it's got a power cord, and it's got a power switch, as well as a mode. It's got an on, off, and an auto mode. Typically, you can just leave this in auto, which I'm going to do right now. If it's in auto mode, it's basically slaved to the Tekran. When the Tekran sends out a message on the ribbon cable for this to start, it'll start. If it doesn't, it won't. It's a way of it's a conservation measure. It won't eat up energy. I like to turn it on right now because I'm kind of still maintaining these things. So I want to make sure the ribbon cables are working, and I'm still diagnosing those problems. That being the case, I just turn the zero error on just in case, because for a calibration, obviously, you'd want it to be on. Otherwise, in any other situation, a normal situation, normal operation, you don't need to turn it on. You could leave it in auto.
Okay, so it's currently in manual mode right now.
Yes, it's currently on manual. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, you have to be aware when to cut the zero error on.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when do you typically cut the zero error on?
Before I inject it in a calibration.
Okay.
If it's during a run, generally you don't need to because it'll sample from the proper port itself.
Okay.
If you look on, actually we'll look through all these things today. Can you see the back over here? The two filter housings there?
Yeah.
There's 1 and 2. Is it on the, I don't know if it's, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
There's one filter housing and a second filter housing. This is the sample line, this is the zero error line. So it'll actually sample according to what it wants. Alright, so now we're going to wait about 20 minutes for the first injection to take place.
Okay.
It'll beep though, so we'll know. So you do have to keep an ear out for it. It'll beep when it's ready for the first injection.
Okay, is it easy to hear with all the other things going on?
If you're listening for it, yeah. So we'll listen for it, okay?
Alright.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stop this.
Okay.